Hello, everyone. Today, we decided to rank our favorite movies. I am going to let my father go first.
Why would you let me go first? What is wrong with you?
Um, More out of fun.
What is
I
fun
want to
about that?
see.
You're just trying to torture me because you're in. Mm, yep, that.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
I just want to see your list first. That's all.
Okay. So, what would you like me to start with? Because these are kind of like my all time from childhood, like memory type deals here. That's what this is. The ones that I have. Do you want me to start with like
Uh,
a top tier, like an S? Or do you want me to start with like it's fine, like an A or a B type situation here. Because we kind of said top 20. And
yeah.
I tried to limit myself to before you were born. There is at least one situation I know of that failed that criteria, but
I
it is just that
see so
good.
many movies.
It is just that good
I
to
see
where
so
I
many
I
movies.
yeah, but it's you know, the
I've
one
watched every movie in your list, by the way.
have you?
Yes, I've actually seen every single movie in your list except for Top Gun.
You've cheated. I haven't looked at yours. You're being a major tool right there. That's just wrong.
What?
I don't love you
You're screen
anymore.
sharing. I
Don't
can
love you.
see it.
Don't love you. Nope.
You're
Love
screen
is
sharing, I can see it.
nope.
Oh, wait, no, I
Nope.
was wrong.
Love is gone.
I was wrong. I haven't seen Titanic or Top Gun. I've never watched either one of them.
Oh, bro, you're missing out. All right. So if you want me to start, okay? You want me to start? Let's see. Let's go. Uh, let's just go with something a little bit funny. Let's go with Toy Story, the original, because I remember watching that. I was
So
around
do I.
15. I was around 14, 15. Yeah, somewhere along in there.
That's that old?
Yeah, it's pretty old. This is the original. And just as an aside, we kind of made a rule to where series like trilogies, duologies, etc., aren't really acceptable in this list
They're
unless,
acceptable if they're the very first one.
right, or unless there was many years, like, a decade ish before the second thing came out. So you may see like Star Wars or like a Hannibal Lecter type thing, but we kind of narrowed it down to first movie while
Right.
trying to avoid like a trilogy duology situation.
We also didn't tell each other what our movie list was.
No, we did not.
But if you see, like, for example, like a James Bond movie or something, if we agreed that if you include James Bond, it has to be different actors.
Yes, which I totally neglected because I like so many of the James Bond movies that it's just not funny. And
Right. Like, I can't have multiple Daniel Craig movies in my
oh
list.
well, that's just sad. You're missing out because Sean Connery, etc., etc. But you
I
know
mean,
this.
Sean Connery's not in my list, actually. It's Roger Moore.
Oh, you are such a failure.
It's
Such a
mostly
failure.
because
No, no,
I
there's
I
nope.
thought of my
Uh-uh.
favorite 2.
No.
I thought of my
No.
favorite 2, and
No.
I couldn't think of the one with Sean Connery in it that I really like. I couldn't
There's
remember the
so
name of it.
many. How can you not like any of the Sean
I
Connery?
couldn't
I mean, just
I love all of the Sean Connery ones. I just couldn't go through your
oh,
collection without you figuring out what it was
oh,
that I was doing.
you're such a disappointment. I'm so sad right now. You just don't even know. I almost have a tear. But anyways,
Yeah.
all right. Toy Story, right? Yeah.
W.
When that came out, consider the time it came out. That was like what, 95 ish, 96 maybe, somewhere along in there. I'm not going to bother to look it up. But that was like one of the better movies that are cartoon at that time. It definitely set a bar for me. and it's good. Actually, the whole Toy Story franchise has been fairly solid throughout. Maybe the newest one is not at that level.
Yeah, 3 and 4 really weren't that great in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't disagree, but the first one was really good. And I appreciate that. And that's the kind of thing where we need these things to be. But, you know, times as they are and whatever. That was a solid movie when it came out. And it was
Yeah,
animated and it was
and
just
it had Tim Allen.
yeah, that helped. That helped.
That helped so
It
much.
it also had Tom Hanks, right? Yeah. Tom Hanks played
I'm pretty sure,
Woody.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I mean, this
I might
this
be wrong,
you were
but I'm
exposed to
pretty sure I'm
this as
right.
like a wee one, a wee baby, not necessarily
A wee
baby,
lad.
a wee lad. I would
Yeah,
say
wee
lass.
lad.
I would say lass, but yeah, whatever.
I'm not a female.
Well, it's debatable sometimes.
Oh,
Anyways,
it's because of my hair now, isn't it?
yeah, that's
Because it's
part of it.
long. Yeah.
Yeah, you're half mullet. Anyway, whatever. You do you, bro.
I'll
But
do me, bro.
that is my first pick. So I am now curious as to what your first pick is. And granted, I put Toy Story in A because it was good. It was really good. It wasn't S tier, but it's good. Solid movie.
I have I have 2 options here. I can match your A, or I can go ahead and just throw one of my S tier movies up there.
No, you do you. You do you.
The original Deadpool movie. The very first Deadpool movie. S tier for me. 1, Deadpool is my favorite character ever
Yep.
in the entire
That
Marvel
yep.
universe.
Absolutely, that is true.
I am sitting in a Deadpool chair right now.
And I actually like what mm, printed off like the
Yeah, you
paper. I
printed
can't I
off
can't think of the word.
a
Yeah, it's a paper.
cardstock,
Yeah,
like,
like cardstock
thing that you
Deadpool.
did for Deadpool.
I made a couple of
It's
them.
actually it's actually hanging above my monitor right now. I have it standing above my monitor right now, the thing that you made,
Yeah.
along with a 3D printed version of Vader that you did.
How does that relate to Deadpool?
But
What is wrong with you? That's very different.
it doesn't. I was just listing things that
Oh,
you've given
oh,
me
oh,
that
okay.
sit above my monitor.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because everything above my monitor is sentimental to me in some way or another.
Yeah, I get that. And I do remember like doing the Deadpool thing for you. It was like, I don't really care, but I know Taylor loves it. So yeah, I did that, glued it up. I remember giving you that what, like s-
Oh,
5, 6 years ago, somewhere along in there
yeah,
now. It's been a
it was a
minute.
little bit ago at this point.
It hasn't been like a long time, but it has been a minute. And it was cool because he's got like the two swords, I think. My memory's right.
It does. No,
Yeah.
you're right. It does.
Yeah. Because I'm a bit of a nerd. Fair enough.
Same. I mean, Deadpool's one of my favorite characters in Marvel. Has been for a very, very, very long time.
But see,
Before the movies came out.
Deadpool's a vigilante, right? Like he's not like a superhero necessarily. He's more of a vigilante.
Hence why I said character and not hero.
Fair enough. Fair.
Yeah. So I've got 2 reasons on this one. 1,
Okay.
favorite Marvel character, period. 2, it includes my favorite actor, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, you're so sad.
I am,
I know.
but Ryan Reynolds is one of my favorites. Even the mistakes along his career, like Waiting and Green Lantern. Yeah, that was a hard one to bring up.
Green Lantern.
That was such a hard one to bring up. Green Lantern was so bad.
Yeah. That was
Green
something.
Lantern is not a comedic character, and Ryan Reynolds plays himself. But yeah, go ahead with your second one.
Oh, you want me to go to the second one? Let's see. Um, Okay, so you threw that in S tier? Really? Okay, alrighty. S tier.
Yeah, it is my favorite movie ever.
So let me match you here with an S. What would I pick as an S tier? What is like really, really, really good? Um, hmm. S tier. Let's
I feel like I
go.
already know what you're gonna place there,
I bet
but
you
I want to
don't.
see
I
it.
bet you don't.
I want to see it.
I bet you don't. But we're gonna go with Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, you immediately grabbed the one that I thought you would put there.
Oh yeah, you suck. That was just
You thought I was thinking Ghostbusters, weren't you?
you should know I'm not gonna throw Ghostbusters in S tier, right? I mean I might, but yeah, probably not. Silence of the Lambs though, Anthony Hopkins, oh my goodness, it was ridiculous. That was a very, very, very good movie, especially if you consider the time that it came out. Like
Oh yeah, it was such a good movie.
that was top tier. And I've watched
It is.
um Red Dragon and oh crap, the other one leaves me right now, but there was so much time in between like Silence of the Lambs
Hannibal.
and the other two. Hannibal. Wasn't it Hannibal? Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hannibal
It was
and Red
Hannibal.
Dragon.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. I've watched them all. I've watched all three. Silence of the Lambs is still top tier.
Like one
A
of the
very,
best. Yeah.
very good movie. There's so much there. And like I said, Hopkins just did a tremendous job. Tremendous job. And I don't even remember the first time I watched that, honestly. Because I've tried to keep this whole list of mine like before 2000. I have failed on a couple points, or at least one point I know for sure. But that one, even I didn't like Red Dragon as much, but like Hannibal is good.
I will
It was
say that
solid.
almost all of mine, with a few outliers, Deadpool being one of them, are also all before the year of 2000.
Hmm.
I have, I think, 3 outliers in total.
So we're kind of in like the same era, the
Yeah.
same
I mean, I might have been born in 2000, but my taste in movies is before that.
kind of like your taste in music, right?
Yeah, my taste in almost everything is
Yeah, you're a little bit more old
before the
school. You're a
2000s.
little bit more old school. That's true.
I I'm a boomer trapped inside a 25-year-old body, what can I say? Or 24. I'm
I,
not 25 yet.
I can't wait until we do like the anime list because we're probably going to argue on that one, like
Oh,
for sure.
we will probably argue
Yeah,
on
I
that one,
already
yeah.
know we
You're right.
will because you don't agree with me necessarily.
Yeah, we like 2 different styles of anime, though.
Yeah, we definitely do. I not no not necessarily
Not
two different
100, but, like,
styles. Not necessarily two
it
different styles.
it's a story thing. You
We
prefer the story a little bit more than I do.
and you prefer the action, yeah, that's true. But we also have
Yeah.
common ground there. But the ones that I absolutely love, you don't necessarily love. And we'll
Right,
we'll do
right.
that episode
There's a few
relatively
examples,
soon.
yeah. There are definitely a few examples of that, but we can touch on that when we get there.
Right. All right. So there.
I'm
I've
gonna
matched
match
you
you.
now. I have an S. You have an.
I'm gonna
I have an A. You do not have an A. But you know, you throw up whatever. Don't feel the
I'm
need to
gonna
match
fully
me here
match you.
because we're just
No,
having
Imma
fun here.
fully match you.
Oh, you got.
Imma fully Imma fully match you,
Oh.
but disagree with you.
Oh.
Silence of the Lamb is A tier for me.
Why? Why would you want to argue? Why is that an A? I'm curious. But go ahead with your thought
It's
process here.
it's a very, very, very good movie. I
Yes.
genuinely do love this movie. It's my favorite of the 3,
Yeah. Granted.
but
Yeah, I agree.
it's not one of my favorite movies of all time, even though I really like it.
And see,
I wouldn't put it above or equal to Deadpool for me personally. It's most likely because I'm younger. and
Yeah,
because, well, he's one of my favorite characters, but it 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 doesn't sit S for me.
it's also a very
I
different
also think
genre
that
of things, you know?
yeah, I mean, a lot of mine are, though. Like, almost none of mine are the same genre,
Yeah,
just about it.
I'm pretty scattered myself, so that's fair.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
But, yeah,
that.
I love the movie. It was actually the very first horror movie I ever watched.
I wouldn't really call
Well,
that
I
a
wouldn't consider
horror,
it
it's more
horror,
like a drama
but it was the
thriller type
closest that
thing.
I had. Yeah, it was the closest I had at the time when it came to horror movies. I was 10 when I watched that movie for the very first time, so that would have been 2010.
How did you watch that at 10? Because I would not have allowed that.
I snuck into the living room,
Ah,
grabbed the
and you
DVD,
grabbed the
took
movies,
it
yeah.
took it to my room, put it in my TV, and watched that movie for the very first time. I've watched it again. My bad. English is hard, apparently, sometimes. I
What
watched
is
it again, correcting misspeech.
Oh, it's correcting your English. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, my English took over for a second. I watched it again recently, and I actually do still absolutely love the movie.
Yeah, it's a very good
When I
movie.
was 10, it terrified me, but
How
nowadays, it's
how
still a very good
how
movie.
did it terrify you?
I was 10, bro. I didn't wanna put the lotion in the basket.
Okay, fair point. But like 10,
It does
11,
not put the lotion in the basket.
10 or 11, I watched it and it freaked me out. Okay, like to no end. It really freaked me
Fun
out
fact,
for sure. And I've
it
never
is
been
on my
afraid of
list.
clowns, but you know, that one
It is
that
on
one
my
scared
list,
me.
and
And I regret not actually having it on my list because now that I think about it, yeah, I probably should have, but I didn't. Oh well.
the original It, not the
Yeah,
newest,
yeah,
the
that's what I'm talking about.
original
The
is
original
on
it.
my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original is on my list.
Cause that I don't know what it was. I guess the age I was when I watched it, probably around 10, 11, maybe 12, something like that.
Like me with Chucky
Yeah, like
or
you would
Child's
Chucky.
Play.
Yeah,
My
you would
bad.
Child's Play. Chucky, fair. Everybody
Yeah,
knows. Everybody would know what you're talking about because Chucky is Child's Play.
yeah.
It,
Yeah, I was
but
really young when I watched that, it terrified me.
but
I hate dolls to this day because of that.
it was a it was very different from what I've seen. But we're diverting here, so okay.
Correct.
So
Let's stick to the list.
let's not sidetrack too
We've
much.
watched a
And
lot of movies.
y- I don't really watch movies that much, honestly.
I don't either,
I'm
but when
more
I
of
was
a
thinking about movies that I've watched, I realized I've seen a lot of movies.
I'm more of a TV series anime type person than I am movies. That's just what I
Samesies.
am.
That's why I'm looking forward to those lists.
Um so I guess it's my go. Let me see. Let me think here. Um hmm. This
I noticed a movie on your list that I really wish I would have put on mine.
this is
Actually, two of
actually
them.
this is actually much more difficult than you would think.
Yeah.
This is much more difficult when you try to rate them to like a tier, SAB, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
It's
I love all of these
it's a
movies,
lot
but
harder because all of these are very important to me and I love them all. And it's very hard to rank them. But let's go with this
mm,
one.
that's one of the ones I
I,
wish was on my
I
list.
don't know.
I'm not gonna say what I
Yeah,
would think on that movie. I
ET.
would personally put it on A,
I I I
personally.
kind of want to. I really do. But looking back, like if I just like looking back seriously at everything. ET. Yes, it was amazing at its time. But does it hold up like now? Uh,
I think so because I've watched it
I don't.
now.
Yeah,
When I got it, it was a remake on Blu-ray.
I don't disagree. It's a very, very good movie, especially at the time it came out. And I mean, back then, Drew Barrymore, yes, absolutely. But
100.
yeah, it's not one of my favorite of these types of movies, but it's a good story and it was well done. and I have no issues with it. And I remember it from childhood because this is kind of what I made my list off of. It's like, what do I remember from my childhood? What movies stand out? That's kind of what I focused on
Uh,
when picking these. It's like, what do I remember?
I think we went different directions then in that regard because most of these are not actually from my
Yeah,
childhood. They're
because
fairly recent.
what I mean, if I went to like a pure classics, like what are some of the best of all time? There's so much that I haven't actually seen. I've never watched
I
Casablanca,
just,
which is
I
highly
just,
regarded as one of the best of all time, and I've never watched it. So, this is a very personal
yeah,
thing. And ET, yeah, I could throw it into A. I could, but I'm going to leave it at B because it doesn't really resonate on like a serious level, I guess we'll say, for some reason. It was good. It was really good.
yeah. I just noticed another thing on your list that I actually kind of wish was on mine. You know, a lot of old movies that I've watched that I actually really like. I just didn't put them on my list because I was focusing on like primarily things that I really enjoyed watching.
Right. And that this has got the kind of the point of doing this tier list to where we can kind of see what each other views as like really good movies that we remember. They're not necessarily like all-time classics or any of that, but they kind of are in a way
Yeah, I
because
mean, most of the stuff on my list I've seen multiple times, and that's why I put it on my list. Because if I liked it enough to see it more than once, I truly, really liked the movie.
and see what I went with was more of a like I remember this when I was little and these came out. Well, I say little, younger. There's a couple that weren't when I was younger, they were when I was older, obviously. But they definitely still like resonate years later, decades
Right.
later, to where I remember them. I remember watching them for the first time. Actually, I'll go on and say it. Like earlier today, I was just like scrolling through Tubi, adding things to my watch list, wish list, whatever it's called. I can't watch list. Yeah. Never Ending Story. I
Yeah,
remember watching that back when I was like 11 or 12. Never Ending Story was great when I was 11 or 12. Is it great now? Probably not. But I'm going to watch it again and then I'll get my view on it now, when I'm in my
we should watch that
40s.
together. I've never seen it.
It's on the watch list. We will watch it whenever I can
Yeah,
get you tied
I've
down
never
in
seen it.
here. It's good. Cuz I remember watching it when like literally we watched that one in school, I think. I watched Navigator like at home. The Navigator was good to me when I was probably the same age, somewhere between 9 and 11. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, that's roughly it. Cuz there should be such a thing as like the Disney weekend movie or whatever it's called. I can't remember. It was a weekly thing. I enjoyed them, and I still do. I remember them to this day. So, I mean, that speaks volumes, realistically. But with that being said, I believe, buddy, it's your turn. And if you
Yeah,
disagree
I
with
would.
where I rank something, just tell me. Like if you think,
I,
like you just did, ET, you would say is A. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but looking at it from my perspective to your perspective, there's the difference right there. Oh, you got it on there. Oh my. When did I didn't even
yeah.
notice that earlier. Okay. All right. Continue. Sorry.
Well, the one I'm trying to click and drag is not actually working for me right now.
Oh, your stuff is broken. That's so bad.
What if I move? Okay, I move something else on the list to make it visible.
Yeah,
You are
just
going to be
you
very
freaked out.
disappointed in me for what I'm about to do.
I'm generally disappointed in you if you want me to be honest, but okay, I love you anyway.
It's in B.
What is that?
It's Serenity.
Oh, you break my heart.
The movie Serenity
That's
that
a
ended the entire Firefly
yeah.
series.
You're a bit of a cheat right
It's a B
there.
for me. It's really good. I do
Oh,
genuinely love this movie.
oh, but you put it in a
Uh,
B.
Out of the movies I have on this list, it's not better than any movie I
I
have on this
know, I
list, in my
understand.
opinion.
I understand. I do. But question, if you rated it, look at it from this perspective, which I know you already realize. Rate it from like the series to like the conclusion of the series. Was Serenity literally S tier?
Serenity was an amazing or well,
No,
okay, yes,
don't.
from
Yeah,
that perspective, yes.
don't
No,
compare it to
yes,
other
Serenity
movies,
was
but
a
compare it
great
to like an ending of the series. Was that S tier?
yeah, it
I
ended
would
the
say
series so
yes.
well.
Yeah,
It did a great job at ending the
it was a
series. I'll
very
give it
good
that.
finale.
But
And
because I'm looking at it as a movie, it's not as good as any movie on my list.
that's a fair point, but you're
I would
also
almost put it in honorable mention, but I do think it's better than just that.
I I have I have harsh words because Serenity was actually really really good. It really
It
was.
was,
It was
just not
really
compared
good.
not it was really good, it just isn't comparative to what is in my list, in terms of a standalone movie. If
No,
I'm
that's
viewing it as a standalone movie, it's not that great.
okay. That's
But if I'm
fair.
viewing it from a TV series that ended and got wrapped up in the form of a movie, it's amazing.
Okay, so as an aside here, what do you think about Firefly? Was that like how would
Firefly is one of my favorite series, and I
okay,
really
so
wish there was more than just 1 season.
so realistically, Firefly would be like S tier, right? Is that what you're saying?
I would put it in A.
Okay, you put it in A.
I would put it in A.
I think you're
I
dumb,
really
but
like
okay.
Firefly, but there are other series that I watch comedies for the most part, and Firefly is the like, one of the outliers on that. So I would put it in A.
Uh,
That's
I want
the
to
biggest
disagree,
issue.
but I do understand kind of your viewpoint.
Now, if we were doing just sci-fi, it would be an S. I would
Firefly would be an S
yeah,
on a
if
series.
we were doing just if we were doing sci-fi series, TV series,
Yeah,
not counting movies,
yeah,
because
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But if we were doing sci-fi TV series, I would actually put it in S because I think it's better than actually a bunch of different Star Trek series.
Hmm.
There's a few that I find better than it, but there are a few that I think Firefly's just better than.
Firefly
So
was
if we were
very
going
good.
sci-fi TV, if we were going like sci-fi TV series, I would put Firefly in S without a doubt
Fair.
because I find it better than a bunch of like Star Trek TV series.
Um,
Not
ah,
all of
I'm
them,
I'm not gonna
but
argue.
a
I'm
decent
not gonna
amount of them.
argue. I'm not gonna argue. Not gonna argue.
I like all of them. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying what I think is better, you know?
Yeah, not gonna argue. Huh. So that's mean that means it's me again?
Yeah, sir.
Huh. Let's see. All right. We'll do an easy one. Let's do Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters was awesome.
What?
Yep. The original
Why in the hell?
Ghostbusters in the 80s. That was really good. But looking back, from a cinematic viewpoint, at the time, yes, it was good.
Why is that in B?
Okay, you're right. You
There
actually
we
have a
go.
good point.
I'm okay with that
Yeah,
one.
it really should be an A because Ghostbusters was that good.
It was so good.
It was really good, and I
I
remember that
remember
like a
when you had
little
me watch
kid,
that.
like 6, 7, 8, somewhere along in there, maybe 9, but probably 6, 7, 8.
That's roughly the
Ghostbusters,
age range I watched it,
and
yeah.
that's probably around the time, maybe a little bit later. There was a cartoon, and I absolutely loved the Saturday morning cartoon Ghostbusters.
Ooh, the cartoon. I've seen a
Oh,
few episodes of the
oh
cartoon. It was
man,
good.
the cartoon was really good.
It was good,
It was
yeah.
really good. I loved it. that was one of those Saturday morning Flintstone vitamin things sitting in front of the TV, like 2, 3 feet away. Yeah, that was a deal, but whatever. And it
Our
look at the people that were in it. Okay, just
Oh,
look
yeah,
at
they
that.
all had successful careers, like,
Yes,
shortly after.
exactly. So I mean, it was a very solid movie, and I loved it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
They
It
made
was
3,
very
right?
good. Um, I remember
There were
2.
3 movies
There may have
before they
been
recreated it with the female cast,
there
right?
may have been 3, but I
I remember 2 specific actually, the second movie I remember very vividly because it was my Imma put a very classic movie,
okay.
one that a lot of people will agree with me on,
Uh-huh.
in S tier. It's a comedy. It's Friday. I love this movie. I love this movie so much.
Did you put
I
Friday
have
on
seen
there?
Friday is in my list. Friday is S tier for me. I have seen this movie so many times. I'm a huge fan of Ice Cube. I'm a
Uh-huh.
huge fan of Chris Tucker.
Oh. Did you
Both of them together in this movie is insane for me. I I knew who both of them were before I ever saw this movie, so when I watched it and I got to see 2 of my favorites in one movie together. Granted, I know it's before 2000. It's a little older for me, but I love it. I even use like audio sounds for this movie in some of my videos, like the whole damn thing
Yep.
to where they both like lean away. So yeah, I include that in a bunch of my stuff. I absolutely love this movie. It is one of my favorites.
So Friday? Is that what you're doing?
Friday. Friday is my S tier movie.
Is that your number 2 S tier?
That is my number 2 S tier in order. It is my second favorite
Oh,
movie.
you're putting them in order. It's your second favorite.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
okay. I Yeah, I get it. That was a very good comedy movie. And like you say, Chris Tucker and Ice Cube, that was that was ridiculously funny back in the day. I remember
It
that,
is a
and it
classic.
was fun. I wouldn't go in there for like, 30, 45 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I consider it a classic, but it's a classic. Hold up 1 second. Go ahead.
I didn't say anything. You said hold up. But yeah, I won't fault you for doing Friday. That was a good comedy movie. Really was. It doesn't rank on my list, obviously. But yeah, it was really good. And I still remember a lot of parts of that. When he knocked Debo out and all that. Yeah, that was hilarious. And actually,
Oh
like,
yeah, it was amazing.
it was important to the story. So yeah, it was funny. Hilarious. Good stuff. I'm still surprised you throw that in S tier though. I'll go Titanic. Titanic was S tier. When it came out, I remember when it came out. I was roughly 15, 14, 15, 16. And Kate Winslet, oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. And it was a good story and it was historical. I don't know how accurate they were. I've kind of seen things over the years. And if my memory's right, the consensus was, yeah, that was fairly accurate, but obviously Hollywood, it was done as it was. Okay, that's fine. But Kate Winslet at that time, oh my, sorry, can't help it. And it was a really good movie, and I still really like that movie. That was like one of the big things at the time.
I've still never seen that movie.
And that I apologize, and we will have to fix that. And
I don't like Leonardo DiCaprio though.
it doesn't matter. The movie as a whole was good. Now, would I put it above Silence of the Lambs? Uh, that's actually a tough call. Um, yeah, I don't know. I would say they're kind of equal as far as a rating goes. They would be tied in their position. But Titanic was really good. It really was really good. There's a lot of like popular moments from that movie, even to now, to this day. There's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
done about that, and it broke box office records. Then it was one of the
The
largest
only
things ever, box office wise, at that point in time.
the only movie I have ever watched that had Leonardo DiCaprio in it was based off of one of my favorite books in high school, and that was The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald.
I don't know if I've watched all of that movie. I've seen bits and pieces, and it was a good movie from what I've seen.
It
But
was a great
I
movie.
don't
The book is even
remember
better.
if yeah, the book is better. Books are usually better. That is true. I don't know if I've seen the whole movie. I'm not sure. I just I watch so much stuff.
I know Leonardo plays like one of the main. Actually, he plays the main protagonist in that movie. He plays Gatsby. The dude that plays Peter Parker in the original Spider-Man movies. I almost said Tom Holland, and that's not even close to correct. Uh, uh, oh my God, Tobey Maguire. There we go.
Tobey
Got
Maguire?
it.
Yeah, okay.
Tobey Maguire plays the dude that's new to the area from the book. I can't
Yep.
remember his name right now. And Leonardo DiCaprio plays Gatsby in that movie. It's so good. The movie and the book, both phenomenal.
Somehow or another, I missed out on that book in high school. I was in accelerated English. I don't know how we didn't read that book. I really don't get it because
Oh, it's
that
such a
was
good
kind of
book.
like, the more normal English class. It was like a required thing, and for some reason we missed out on that one. But I never read it. Something I
The
should
Great
probably
Gatsby and The Crucible.
The Crucible I read, but I read The Crucible in like eighth grade. The
You actually
Crucible,
got to read it before I did then.
yeah, The Crucible is
That was
very
another
good.
book I didn't get until The Great Gatsby and The Crucible were both 11th grade for me.
Yeah, The Crucible is good.
And they were both so good.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue.
So good.
Most books are actually good. The thing is, this is the thing about books. When you're in school and you're forced to read something, it's very different from when you're like older and you want to read something and you read it and you're like, yeah,
Right.
this is good. But when you're in school, you're like, I'm being forced to do this. I don't want to do this. It's a different kind of appreciation, I guess.
Well, those two books I was forced to read, and I still loved both of them. That's how good they were.
Maybe we could always do a book tier list later on because I don't even want to get into that. Honestly, I don't.
You've read far more than
I've
I
read
have.
so much, but realistically, like my top 10, top 20 probably wouldn't surprise you. But either way, we're on movies right now, so let's just move on with
Right.
the movies. And Titanic was my last one. I threw it in S tier,
Yeah.
and I know may not
I've never
appreciate
seen it.
you may not appreciate just how freaking hot Kate Winslet was at this point in time. Extremely is the word I would say. And now it is your pick.
I read up on the Titanic. I know the stuff about it. I've just never seen the movie. That's all.
We'll watch the movie.
My pick that I'm about to put in A tier I am extremely shocked as not on your list because I really expected it to be. iRobot.
Asimov.
I iRobot is my A tier movie. It is so good. I'm not like the world's biggest fan of Will Smith. He has some hits, he has some misses. I'm not gonna, you know,
Yeah, that's fair.
say one or the other. But this movie was such a good movie.
I really did like iRobot. I don't know if I would consider it a classic.
I
If it
mean, we weren't going off of classics. That's why I
Well, that
built
was
my
more
list the
my
way I did.
mentality though.
Yeah, I
And
wasn't
a
picking off of what I considered classics. I was picking off of my actual favorite movies.
and like a top 10. Yeah, but iRobot was
It
solid.
was so good.
I did
It
like
was so good.
iRobot. I liked it a lot. I really did. But
I'm I'm shocked it wasn't on your list because of our AI video to where you brought up Asimov's laws so many
yes.
times. I really expected iRobot to be on your list
And
after that.
it probably should have been, but honestly, I view the Foundation series as better than like iRobot. Yeah, yeah,
It was so good.
because the Foundation
I
series is just leaps and bounds ahead. iRobot was good. I did enjoy it, and I really did enjoy the
yeah,
movie, but it doesn't like hit my top 20. Sadly,
I was
it's just
actually
outside.
conflicted. I was conflicted with iRobot and Hancock. Both are Will Smith movies.
Ah,
And I was
Hancock.
conflicted between
Eh.
which one I liked the most, and then I thought about it and I was like, I like sci-fi way more than I like anything else
Hancock
in terms
leans
of
into the
movie.
superhero type thing
Yeah.
more than
I mean, I
iRobot.
like the superhero type thing, just not as much as I enjoy sci-fi. So Hancock didn't win, and
Yeah,
iRobot did.
and iRobot
I
was
was
good.
conflicted between the two because they
iRobot was
both
good.
are they are actually both like a pretty decent chunk of my childhood movie was. 'Cause I watch both of them a lot,
Um, yeah,
and there's some meat and potatoes here that I haven't gotten into yet.
and you know that I like Asimov stuff, iRobot, Foundation. And I can't even think right now, and I'm sitting here looking at the Foundation books. My brain just left me, but whatever. It is what it is. Either way, so we'll just leave it there, I guess. So I guess it's my go again.
On to your next pick, sir.
My next pick, sir. Gremlins. I remember
That's one
Gremlins.
of the ones that I really wanted on my
Yeah,
list after I saw it on
I,
yours. It's
I re-
so
it
good.
is. I remember Gremlins when I was little, and it was just awesome. And actually, to this day, Gremlins is still very good. Yeah, it's campy. Yeah, it's at this point kind of like a B movie type thing, but back then it was
Yeah,
really good. There was a lot of like production value type stuff going on, but it definitely has an 80s feel, but Gremlins is still very solid even now. We just watched it like what, 4, maybe 5 years
2,
ago, something
4
like
years
that. Yeah,
yeah,
it
it
hadn't
was
been
actually a
that
bit ago,
long.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it hadn't been that long ago, realistically, and it still holds up. Gremlins is good.
Along with The Goonies.
Yeah,
We watched
along with
Gremlins
the
and The
Goonies, which
Goonies.
I now that you say that, I regret not
The
having the
Goonies
Goonies in
almost
my
made my
list
list.
because the
They
Goonies is
almost
actually like ridiculously good.
do
But
the truffle shuffle.
I didn't think about it. I Because when we talked about this and then I was trying to like get it done, it takes a
Yeah.
minute because I'm old and I'm slow apparently. The Goonies, yeah, the Goonies, just as a reference right now, I would probably throw the Goonies in A tier over Gremlins
Oh, The Goonies was good.
because
The
the Goonies
Goonies,
was
I
really
actually
good.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was better than Gremlins, I'll give you that one.
Yeah. I mean, that would fit. And I really kind of hate myself right now for forgetting about the Goonies because I watched it back in the
They were all
80s.
in the same set, though.
I know, which is why I feel so bad about forgetting about it when I was trying to make this list, but it's so hard. But we did limit
I have
ourselves to like 20, and I went over. I went to 23. That's
yeah, I
why the
only went to
honorable
20.
mention category is there because, I'm going to like chop off 3 of them.
I might not even have an honorable mention on my end.
I may not either before it's all said and done, but then we'll be like uneven on our numbers, but whatever, it doesn't really
Well,
matter.
you can chunk 3 into the honorable mention, but all of mine I really like. It would be very hard for me to decide what goes into honorable mention at what I'm looking at right now. And I haven't even touched on like some of my top notch like favorites.
Yeah, and the Gremlins, yeah, it's in the same tier as ET. Granted, it wasn't as cinematic as ET, but it was engaging. It was as
Yeah.
engaging as ET was. It's a slightly
Oh,
different perspective. It's kind of like a, I don't know, maybe like a drama, maybe thriller, horror type movie at that point in time, even though it's not today. It's a little bit
yeah.
more campy for sure. But as a kid, you view it as kind of semi horror,
Hey,
I
just don't feed
guess.
them or get them wet after midnight. It's
Right.
fine.
Which is why I never wanted you to get like wet after midnight. I didn't want you to turn did I didn't want you to turn into a gremlin because you are one. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, Gremlins, it was very formative for me in my movie watching when I was younger. Which again, this is kind of where I was going with what I picked. These are formative movies from when I was growing up. For the most part, there's a few that are outliers. I was older, yes, like Titanic and probably Silence of the Lambs, but most of there's a couple others we haven't got to yet, but most of the others were definitely when I was a kid, like younger, under 10, 11, and I still
I'm gonna
remember
match
them.
that for you.
I still remember them. Yeah, it's your go. Go ahead. Oh,
I'll match
dang.
that for you.
Okay.
The
What
movie
you got?
that you just saw the ring in my list,
I
didn't you?
did. I saw that. I was like, oh my, really?
I'm gonna throw one up there that I actually do think S tier because it is a movie that I have remembered and never forgotten from when I was younger and the first time I ever watched it when I was almost 9 years old, and I've watched it again recently.
And it still holds
While
up.
childish, I mean, it's corny to a certain extent, but it's also old. But it's still one of my favorites, and that's Howard the Duck.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I have a physical copy of it in my room right now.
That sounds like more of a
Howard
your mother
the
thing.
Duck.
I don't think I've
I
ever
actually
seen
got it.
that.
I got it from my uncle, the one that we played disc golf with.
And
It
that's
was
an
in the movie collection that he gave me.
and that's S
And the
tier.
first time I saw it, it's S tier for me.
Okay, so
The
let's
first time I saw it, me and my oldest cousin watched it together when I was almost 9, and I watched it again when I freshly turned 20 with my sister, and then I watched it again almost 6 months ago,
okay.
and I
So
still love this movie.
look at it this way. Maybe you're a bit of an idiot. Like seriously, no hate. I'm just saying, but look at it. You got Silence of the Lambs at A and you got Howard the Duck at S. What is wrong with you?
Childhood.
Are you still a child?
No.
No.
No, the
Howard the
thing that you're
Duck,
missing
but Howard the Duck
the thing
ranks.
you're
No,
missing,
no, 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 no. This is a serious question.
you're wondering why Howard the Duck ranks higher than Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, I really am.
Silence of the Lamb is amazing. It
But
it is.
but
It actually is
it's
really, really
A
good.
instead of S. What I don't understand. How is Howard the Duck S and Silence of the Lambs is A? I'm
I've seen
confused.
Silence of the Lambs twice.
Uh-huh.
Once when I was really young, and it terrified me.
Well, that's good
And
because
then
it's crazy and that's actually real world stuff.
and then once when I was older, and it was still a really good movie.
Yeah, fair.
But between the 2 times that I've watched Silence of the Lamb, the first one was terrifying for me. The second one was, it's just a good movie. Howard the Duck, the first time I watched it, it was hilarious. It was captivating. It was one of the best that I've ever seen at the time that I've watched it. And keep in mind, Howard the Duck is a very old movie.
Yeah.
So the first time that I watched it, it was already an old movie. I mean, it's basically just as old as Ghostbusters, but the second time I watched it, it was a really old movie at that point because I think Howard the Duck came out in late 80s, early 90s. So it's not like it's really that new at all.
Not really.
But the second time I watched it, it was kind of funny. I mean, it had its corny moments, but it still had a good overarching story. And then the third time I watched it, it was extremely corny, but the overarching story was still good enough to where I watched it all the way to the end. Honestly, if they made a good remake of that movie, I would watch it in a heartbeat. It is it screams my childhood to me effectively.
And I have never
Outside of
yeah, I've never seen that movie.
outside of Lion King and like the older movies like that that I used to watch, like Fox and the Hound, Howard the Duck
Okay.
screams my childhood.
Fox and the Hound is top tier. That's classic Disney.
And it's not on my list.
Mine either.
I think Howard the Duck is actually the only Disney movie on my list.
But to that point, because I'm assuming it is now my turn, I will
Yes,
say
sir.
I am pretty sure that is the Lion King. That is S tier. Because the
That is the
OG,
Lion King. That is S
the
tier.
Lion King was S tier when it came out. There was nothing better. This is
You
Disney
100.
at its peak, even with its issues, let's say, the subliminals that have been talked about over the
Yeah.
decades. The Lion King was
Yeah.
still a great movie, and to this day,
So
the
good.
original is still a great movie, a great animated movie. That that was peak at the time.
Yeah,
Peak,
not the remade live action
right?
version.
No, the original animated Lion King, peak,
Yeah.
peak Disney. That is
W.
that is definitely in my top. I remember watching it in '95. I was in algebra class towards the end of the semester, end of the year, because we had very little else to do at that point, and that is what we watched. And it was great then. It is great now. And you, sir, had a
Grew up on it,
Simba.
yeah.
You had a Simba, and you.
I have a Simba and a Mufasa stuffed
But
animal.
I do remember you having the Simba, and that was a thing.
Yeah.
That
They're
is
in my closet.
realistically. Let me just stop and think for a moment. Um, after the Lion King, I do not remember any specifically Disney movie that was better. I mean,
Fox and the Hound.
yeah, we had
Oh, better.
no,
Better. Never
yeah,
mind.
and going forward, looking from this point forward, I don't think off the top of my head there was anything better. This was the best. The Lion King is a very, very good movie. It even went on Broadway. Okay, that's how good this story is. The Lion King is amazing. It really is from that perspective, to where it had a Broadway show. Okay? That speaks volumes.
You know
Solid.
what else had a Broadway show?
Cats.
I mean, yeah, Frozen.
Frozen was good. Frozen,
Frozen on ice.
okay.
It
All
was a
right.
whole thing.
Okay. To that point, I won't really argue that would be the next thing, but we're talking what? 20 years, 2 decades in between The Lion King and Frozen.
I
And
mean, Frozen
honestly,
might be the next Lion King in terms of like things like that
for like
because you watched The
your
Lion King growing
generation,
up. I watched The Lion King growing up. So it's possible that like roughly people my generation and then their kids would maybe watch Frozen. It's possible that'll be their Lion King.
Frozen,
Although I feel like
Frozen,
the Lion King will always be the Lion King.
yeah,
And
Frozen was good. I'm not gonna knock it. Frozen was actually really, really good. It was. I've seen it. But
I mean, I'm gonna show my kids the Lion King.
The Lion King was still better. I really
My
do think,
kids will grow up. They
yeah,
will grow up on the Lion King.
yeah. If you ever find a female and get married, either way, The Lion King, I think, was probably the, if I'm being honest, the last great Disney movie ever. The next best thing would have been Frozen. They really didn't do anything in between. I mean, yeah, you got Moana.
Mulan.
That was before. Mulan's been around for a while. That's not new.
Mulan was after Lion King.
Yeah, but it's kind of a remake in a way. The Lion King was still better.
I don't disagree.
Okay. All right. You
As
don't.
much as I want to.
Yeah, I know, because you really can't. The Lion King was probably one of the
I watched it.
is probably one of the best Disney movies. Like, seriously, no shit.
It's my favorite Disney movie to this day.
It's
I
one
I
of my favorite Disney movies to this day, and Frozen is probably second.
I would put Aladdin at second. But yeah.
Aladdin was all right. I didn't really care about it that much, which is
Well,
a little
actually I'd probably put
surprising.
Mulan at second. Mulan
Well,
would be second.
fair, fair.
Aladdin would be third. Maybe I'm old, but I actually don't really care about Frozen.
Frozen was good. It really was good. But
I hate all
nothing,
the singing.
nothing, and I'm talking like straight up Disney. The Lion King was, yeah, it was really good.
I mean,
The
yeah.
story is just really good. There's so much there. I love that movie to this day, and I'm old now. It is what it is.
Yeah, apparently I'm old now too.
And I grew up watching Disney movies, so it's not like this is the first one I saw or anything. It's just this one is by far the best, in my opinion.
That was the first Disney movie I saw, and it's also still my favorite. And I've seen a lot of Disney
And it
movies,
only
and I
came
hate
out,
almost every
yeah.
single one of them.
And The Lion King came out like roughly 5 years before you were born, ish.
I've noticed that I like DreamWorks and Pixar way more than I
I've
like Disney.
always liked DreamWorks, but Pixar is part of Disney now, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so as well because
Yeah,
Cars was
yeah.
Pixar.
Cars was good. Cars was really good,
So was
actually.
so was Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. was
Monsters
Pixar.
Inc. Yeah, you're right. That was Disney Pixar? You're right. Okay, so I take it
Yeah.
back. I take it back. Let it be known, I do take it back, because Monsters Inc. fell in between, and that was,
Monsters Inc. was really good.
yeah, Monsters Inc. was
I
really
I
good.
watched that movie.
That was really
I
good.
I watched that movie actually not that long ago. It's still really good.
It's still, yeah. No, I'm not going to disagree at all. So okay, three: Lion King, Monsters Inc., Frozen. That's kind of like their top tier for the last, what are we at, 30 years in my mind. Sounds right.
You're
And I don't think that's wrong. Maybe, but whatever. That's kind of how I look at it. And it's your pick.
I'm gonna hit you with a quickie right quick. Why won't it let me select? There we go. Baby Boy,
What?
B tier. I
What?
know you don't know this movie.
What?
I'm going to
Who?
explain this movie to you.
I don't
Baby
even.
Boy is the name of the movie.
I don't
You've
even.
never seen it.
I
I
know.
guarantee you've never seen
I
it.
have no
It
idea.
came out it came out in 2007.
That's not that
I've
old.
watched this movie multiple times. I still really like this movie to this day. This movie has Snoop Dogg in it.
Okay.
This movie also has Rome from Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
I don't remember the actor name,
Yeah. I can't think of it either.
but but it has both of them in it, and it's actually a really good movie. It's more of a black community as a whole type movie, kind of like how Friday's considered like one of the classics for African American communities.
Yeah.
It's more of like that type movie because like the whole intro is like, what does a black man call his home? A crib. What does he call his girl? Mama. Like stuff like that. So the whole beginning of it is like talking about growing up effectively. How like even when you grow up, you still hold on to like childhood things, and then it has a whole overarching story underneath that. It's still to this day not one of my favorite movies, but I still consider it a good movie, and that's why I put it in B.
Sounds fair to me. So that was your B.
That is my B. That is my second B,
Okay.
which you put E.T. and Gremlin, like two of my favorite, like younger memory movies in B. But yeah.
You'll be all right. You can deal. Um,
Hey, you put Lion King in S. I'll forgive you.
yeah, you should. Um, okay. As an aside here, I'm kind of rating these on the time that I saw them. It's not like a now perspective, it's a then perspective. Okay. So don't be a dick. Don't be an asshole. This is how I view them now, looking back as to when I watched them then. All right. This is where they
I shall
sit.
refrain from criticism.
Right. It's where I saw them when they came out and when I was able to watch them first.
If
Okay.
you put some disrespect on one of the movies that we have in common, I will hit you.
Karate Kid. Karate Kid is an A.
I agree.
I would I'm it's kind of an A plus, but at the time that it
I'd
came
actually
out,
put the trilogy in A.
what this is off of the very first movie because we know it was damn near 2 decades before the second movie, not the second movie, but like kind of the reboot. So the original, the honest original, the Karate Kid
Yeah,
was definitely A tier. When it came out, it would have been an S, but now looking back, it is still an A, which means it is a solid movie.
I agree.
It is
What do you think of the
great.
remake
It's fine.
with Jaden Smith?
It's fine, but I still
I
prefer the
hate it.
original. I prefer the original.
I
I
I hate it.
I prefer the original. And Cobra Kai,
Maybe it's because I watched it. Yeah,
just to throw it out there, Cobra Kai changes the dynamic of Karate
Cobra Kai
Kid.
is so good.
It is
I don't know
good.
if you've watched it, but
I
it's so
have.
good.
I have seen bits and pieces and almost a season or two. Yeah,
I have
it's
to finish the last of the last season. I have a feeling, but it's so good.
and it's good. It is good. I'm not going to knock it for that, but it doesn't strike the same notes as the original Karate Kid.
It doesn't. Well, it does, but it doesn't. So
Which,
Johnny is basically training, like Johnny Larson
yeah,
is training Daniel effectively. Johnny is Miyagi in that show, and Daniel is his student effectively. Miguel's the actual student's name, but Johnny is effectively Miyagi in that show.
because like when I was growing up, like the crane stance, from the original Karate Kid,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that
I
was
used
like
to
a
do that when
big,
I was younger
yeah,
too.
that was a thing.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm a crane
Montana,
kick you, bro.
yeah, it's like Montana and Rice back then when I was growing up. That was a thing unto
Oh,
itself.
the catch.
Rice wasn't in the catch, but okay, yeah,
Wait, he
yeah,
wasn't?
no,
I thought Rice was the person that caught the catch.
I don't think so. I think that was Clark. I think my mind is a little
I might be
confused
too young.
at the moment, but I really want to say Clark was the name. I mean, I will Google if you want me to, but while we're
No, it's fine.
talking, no, it's fine. You can just edit the video. It's all good. Um, but like, yeah, Miyagi and all of that. Because I mean, you got to realize, like, we're talking late '80s, early '90s, and it was
Nope, you're right. Dwight Clark.
yeah, Dwight Clark. Thank you. I couldn't think of his first name. My bad. It was a
It's
different
also in Scrubs.
it was a different time because okay, you're looking at it even more so than I am from a hindsight. This is in the past, like kind of a relic. Eh, I really hate to use that word because it makes me feel really old.
I mean, you are, but yeah,
Ah, shut up. Nobody loves you.
I know.
Yeah, okay, glad you know. But I don't know. There was something about the Karate Kid when it came out that was like realistically okay. Here's what it was when it came out, and take everything I've already listed as you wish. You can compare if you want. But the Karate Kid, what it was actually kind of saying at its core was like work hard, do your best, and this is what you can achieve. That's how it felt at the time, and it still feels that way. That was kind of like the core sentiment of the movie. It's like keep working, keep doing this, practice, get better, blah blah blah. Karate Kid was very formative then, and it still is if you look at it from that perspective other than just a movie. There was a lot of good tenets to it, and that holds true now. That's my opinion on it. And it, it's really more of like an A plus, honestly, because okay, let me just do this. That would be like a high A. That'd be like A plus.
Yeah,
I'm very very tempted to throw it into S, but I can't for some reason, and I can't even tell you why I can't. I just I
I
don't feel
also
like it
don't think it belongs
quantifies
in
an
S.
yeah, I don't feel like it quantifies an S. I don't. It was great for its time. It really was. But we're talking what 30 plus years later? I can't put it in an S cuz it doesn't realistically hold up to that level as the ones that already have in
Right.
an S. Sadly. I mean, if there was an A plus, it would be an A plus, which is why I just moved it to the front of the list.
I have one
Okay.
that I have a feeling you're gonna have a lot of feelings about.
I have very few feelings.
But I want to put it in S. I do, but a part of me is like it doesn't actually belong in S. And that is The Longest Yard.
Oh shit. That makes me feel bad because
Not
I forgot about that one.
not the one you're thinking of. I'm talking about
You're
the
talking about
Adam
the
Sandler
remake with
one.
Adam Sandler, but I watched
Yep.
the other one with Burt
I
Reynolds,
yeah, you watched
and that
yeah,
was
yeah.
really, really
Burt
good. And
Reynolds is in this one.
I'm kicking myself right now since
Yeah.
you say that, because yeah, that
This is
was
where
good.
we actually get a
Where
generational difference
okay,
though.
you put it in an A with the Sandler remake. Um,
Yeah.
just a critique,
I've never seen the
just
original, so I
just
don't have an opinion.
yeah, just to critique your choice. I mean, granted, I don't necessarily agree with your S tier, but
You
yeah,
disagree with Howard the Duck. That's all you
I
disagree with.
100% disagree with Howard the Duck. I'm sorry. But yeah, The Longest Yard, damn, I really hate it that I forgot about that one. That one didn't even.
Yeah, you forgot about the Burt Reynolds one. Here's how
Also,
successful the
hey,
remake is, though.
hey, wait, listen. Also, I forgot about one of my favorites when I was little, which was Smokey and the Bandit. I was a big Burt Reynolds
I've
fan when
seen
I was
that.
little. I mean,
Smokey and the Bandit's a great movie.
yes, and
Kate
I
Paul
didn't even
Bunyan,
think
Paul
about
Bunyan,
it.
Kate.
See what happens when you're
I've seen
like,
that movie. I love that movie.
see what's under pressure does to you. Is like, even Cannonball
Under
Run.
pressure.
I've watched
Anyways,
Cannonball Run, and that was actually good too. It'd probably be B
I
tier,
haven't seen that, so I don't have a
but
reference
like,
queued up for that one.
yeah, Smokey and the Bandit would be an A plus. It'd probably fall actually
Oh
ahead
yeah,
of
Smokey and the
Karate
Bandit
Kid.
was actually
I'm
Smokey and the
just
Bandit was really
saying.
good. I
Oh
know that
yeah,
movie.
The
Me
Longest
and my
Yard.
oldest cousin did watch that together, Smokey and the
Yeah,
Bandit.
yeah. Smokey and the Bandit was awesome. Trans Am.
That's why I
Yeah.
remember the Kate Paul Bunyan, Kate line. That's why I remember that.
What was the other one? Slide aside. What was the other one? It's like left turn glide, right turn glide. What was that? Oh crap.
I I actually don't know. I
Oh,
literally only
was
remember the
that
one line from
Cannonball
that movie.
Run? Was that Cannonball Run that
I've never I've never seen
Oh
Cannonball Run. I
crap.
can't help you on that one.
Oh man, that's annoying me. That's why nobody loves you
I
because you're a pain
bro,
in the ass.
I'm in my 20s. I can't help you with stuff that I've never seen and
Fine.
I'm not old enough to remember.
Continue your thought without being mean.
Continue my thought without being mean.
If you can.
It, I just think it's a really, really good movie that has a lot of weight
Oh
even to this day.
shit. Hey, you know what I just thought of that I really, really hate myself for forgetting on this topic? Shawshank Redemption. One of my all-time favorites, and
Oh,
I absolutely freaking forgot it. Oh my goodness, how did I forget that? I love that movie.
he helped me escape from Shawshank Redemption.
I'm sorry. And
He
the
was
Green
my
Mile.
friend.
The Green
The
Mile
Green
was
Mile was
also
such a good
awesome.
movie. So good.
I
I
love
left it out of
Shawshank.
my list as well, so it's fine.
Shawshank was
I left both of them out.
yeah, I did too, and now I'm hating myself. Shawshank was
Yeah,
King, right? That was Stephen King, and The Green Mile was also
yeah.
Stephen King, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not 100 on the Green Mile, but I know Shawshank was
I
Stephen
think they
King.
both were. Okay, maybe Shawshank wasn't.
It was cold in them prisons.
Shawshank was awesome. I
Shawshank
loved it.
Redemption.
I mean, Morgan Freeman. I mean, hell,
That's what I've been
he
quoting this whole
he's
time.
he's a Mississippi guy. We gotta, and
Yeah.
I've always loved Freeman. I have
And
for
the
a
great
long, long
words,
time.
the great, great words, the immortal words of Jacob Peralta, aka Adam Sandberg.
Oh,
He was my friend. Yes, I'm pulling Brooklyn
I was gonna
Nine-Nine into
say, here you go with Brooklyn Nine Nine, you
it.
sad weeb.
It is my all-time favorite comedy
Oh
show.
man, how did I forget?
It is my
Okay,
number one sitcom.
okay. everybody that listens to this ever, just remember Shawshank Redemption is amazing, and I hate myself for forgetting to include it on this list. I really, really do. And The Green
There's a
Mile.
lot of movies.
The Green Mile
There's a
is
lot of
also
movies,
extremely
yeah.
good. But
There's a lot of movies that I should have included that
yeah,
we've
it's
already covered
so
that just
hard.
aren't on my list.
It's so hard to remember like everything that you've seen over the years.
Yeah, and then when we talk about them, it's easy to remember the movie that you actually
Right.
think is
When you
great
start
that should
talking
have been
about
on the
it,
list.
like, oh dang it.
Like The Shining.
The
The
Shining,
Shining should have been on
yeah.
my
The
list,
Shining is a
and it's
classic.
not.
Yes. I kind of intentionally just left that, just like 2001. I left that one too because they're kind of givens in a way.
There's a lot of movies that I've left off of this list that
But
I actually really
yeah, I
like.
do agree with you. The Shining is definitely a classic. I feel bad about not including it, but also I feel like that's like kind of in everybody's list, like their top 20 ish, along with like 2001 A Space Odyssey. I feel like that's in everybody's list.
I've never seen Space Odyssey.
That's an old movie. I think it's from the late
I've
50s or
also
60s.
I've also never seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I haven't seen that movie.
I know a lot about it, but I've never actually seen it.
And I know
Like, because it's referenced in Goat Simulator to where there are like whales falling from the sky. So I know like a rough premise of the whole movie. I've never seen it.
all right. All right. So this does this mean it's my go now? House of Flying Daggers
Oh, word?
and A tier. It is almost S, but it is very good. That is true. And I enjoyed
I
it.
don't disagree with you at all.
Yeah, I enjoyed it immensely. Hold. Okay. All right. Um
In
House of
fact,
Flying Daggers is very good when it came out. Yeah, it was after Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Fair. But to me, the story of House of Flying Daggers was better,
I agree.
which is why I put it in A. It's realistically like an A plus, and I will move it to yeah.
Nah,
Yeah,
nah, nah. Don't
I
put it.
think so.
Don't do that.
I think so.
No,
I think so. That's where it should
I'm a,
be.
I'm a match you actually. I'll 100% match you. I also have House of Flying Daggers on my list, and I also
Oh,
think it's A tier
oh, looky there.
for the exact same reasons. I am not going to put it above my original A tier list, though. Well,
Um,
I guess if I had to swap, I would actually put House of Flying Daggers before iRobot, but I wouldn't put it before the other two.
mm, I mean, I'm a sci-fi fan, so I don't know if I put it ahead of iRobot, but it would definitely be equivalent to
Yeah,
iRobot
but
from
you
that
see here,
perspective.
iRobot's not on your list, so
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking out loud here. Okay.
I would put it before iRobot, but that's about it.
So you've already gone again already.
Yeah,
So that means
yeah. I mean, you touched on something I have.
now you're forcing me to pick again.
I am.
Okay. Let's go with Top
Also,
Gun.
do you? Okay.
Because I
A
remember when that
movie I
came
have
out,
never seen.
Top Gun was great in its day, and it kind of still holds up today. And I remember as a kid having like the plane and a little joystick controller all mounted together where you could shoot and you could hear the sounds, blah blah blah. And the game, the first Top Gun game, yeah, I played it. It's kind of like Ace Combat, basically. It may have been actually the first Ace Combat. I can't remember exactly because we're going back a minute. That was a good movie. Still a good movie. I mean, I even now I wouldn't say that it's a bad movie for sure. And there's a lot there. And if I'm being honest, I kind of feel like with the reboot stuff they've done here in the last few years, it's kind of granted I haven't watched the new ones, just what I've seen, like trailers and people talking about it. I don't feel like the new ones are better. Feels like, as with most things, that they're kind of grasping at the old what was and trying to revitalize that without the substance of what it was. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of how I think about it. It's
I
more
mean, it
like
makes perfect sense
it,
for me.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
more like they're done for money these days more than for like entertainment or impact. Lack of a better word, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the first Top Gun was really good. It is still good. I mean, Risky Business, yeah, it was good. It's not on my list because I didn't really care. But Top Gun, yeah, I do care. And Danger Zone, the song, oh my. Stone
Danger
this
zone.
the song still resonates, honestly. I remember all of that. That's why I would
Right into
exactly.
the
That's why I would
danger zone.
that's why I would put it in A. And I'm very tempted to put it above Karate Kid. Um
Don't do it. Please don't do it. You'll break my heart.
well, I mean, if it'll break your heart, that makes it all more reasonable to do
No,
it.
no, 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 no.
Because I want to upset you. I want to hit you in the feels
Nah,
and make
nah,
you feel bad.
nah, this is where you do your best Italian impression and you just go, Ma, I'm sorry, Ma.
But I'll leave it. I'll leave it after Karate Kid. I'll be fair there.
There we go. Yeah.
Even though I
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
kind of want to say they're equal from two different perspectives.
I've never seen it, so I don't have an opinion on it,
Well,
honestly.
then you have no right to judge, which makes me want
I
to do
don't.
something like this. Do I feel good about
That hurt.
that? I kind
That
of
hurt.
I kind of I kind of I kind of do feel good about that, actually. Because those two are kind of they're on the same tier. They're both like A plus. The first three on my A tier are A plus.
Oh.
So yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll leave that at A plus. That was a good movie. It was a really good movie then. It's still a really good movie. It is what it is. No hate.
Migo Mango. This should probably come to a shock.
And I'm not a big Tom
To
Cruise fan, by the way. I'm not.
I'm not either.
But that movie was
I'm not at all.
yeah, that movie was that good. All right. So your go. What you
I'm
got?
I'm such a minor Tom Cruise fan actually that I genuinely don't even watch his movies.
S. What is that?
That is Avatar. The very
Avatar.
first Avatar movie. That is S tier for me. It was such a good movie. I have
Mm,
not seen the new one. I have not seen Way of Water.
I kind of want to argue with you on that one because
I wouldn't.
it was so
There was nothing wrong with that
it
movie.
was so CG driven that I slightly have a problem with it. I mean, I would throw it into like an A minus. The story was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular.
The story was really good.
It wasn't bad. I mean, it's an A minus. That's not
Yes.
bad.
Yeah. Okay, look, it was CG driven. You know what else was CG driven?
A lot of things since like 2000. Everything you've grown up
Things that
with.
things that aren't on our list that were CG driven and were actually one of the first things to include CG.
Tell me.
1, 2, and 3 of the Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Yeah.
Going to ignore
Not
what you
4,
just
5, and
said.
6. 1, 2,
No,
and 3. And
no,
everybody's favorite character. No, everybody's favorite
nobody's
character
favorite
in
character.
1, 2, and 3. A lot of
Jar Jar.
people.
You're gonna say Jar
So
Jar.
many
Oh
people.
my God, you're gonna say Jar Jar.
I'm not just gonna say Jar Jar. I'm going to do the voice for you.
Okay,
Special treat.
okay.
Me, Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember going to the
Jar Jar was
theater.
huge, though.
I went to the theater and watched these first
I'm so
two,
sorry. I'm so sorry.
and it's not bad. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're not great.
Um,
They
they're
don't
not.
hit the list. 4, 5, and
They're not 4,
6,
5, and 6.
like the
They're not 4, 5,
originals.
and 6.
Yeah, exactly. The originals are so much better. Like
Even to this day, all the Star Wars
ridiculously
stuff I've
better.
watched. Yeah. All the Star Wars stuff I've watched in my entire life. 4, 5, and 6 are still the best out of everything ever made for Star Wars.
Mainly 5. 5 is like
Really, 4 is my favorite.
no, 5 is peak. Like
A New Hope is my
seriously,
favorite, like hands
seriously,
down.
5, which was what? What is 5? Return of the
Empire Strikes
Jedi
Back.
or Empire Strikes Back? I can't remember what it
I think
was
it's Empire
titled.
Strikes Back. I could be wrong.
Okay. Let's see. Slight cut right here. Yeah. Empire Strikes Back.
I was right. That's all I needed to know.
So it's my go. And I'm going to throw that. And we made a rule to where we really couldn't use like trilogies, duologies, etc. Unless there
Right.
was like many years in between. But we did agree Star Wars is kind of a free for all as long as it's the original, more or less. And The Empire Strikes Back, great movie.
Wait, you put the second movie in your
S
list?
tier. S tier. Yes. Yes.
I kept Star Wars completely out of my list.
I really didn't want to do it, but that one
That's why
specifically,
I left it out of my list.
I really want to do the whole trilogy because 4, 5, and 6 are just that good. But Empire Strikes Back
Yeah, I
was
would have put A New Hope. I
definitely
would have put 4 there.
it was definitely better than New Hope, and it was definitely
Oh,
better than Return of the Jedi, right? Am I wrong here?
yes, A New Hope is better.
I mean, I
I'm
love.
so glad you took a cop out like that.
What do you mean? I took a cop out? I didn't cop out.
I'm so glad you took a cop out like that.
It's just that was so
It's so
good.
easy. It's
It's
so easy. Nah, it's so easy.
you're being a
My entire room is pretty much covered in Star Wars stuff. I left Star Wars out of my list, but you made this very easy for me.
Do you want me to remove it and move it to honorable mention just so you feel better about
No, nah,
yourself? Because
no, keep it up. I already threw
honestly,
a new one in S tier. Don't worry about it.
honestly, my opinion, out of the trilogy, the original trilogy, Empire Strikes Back is the best of the three.
Cop out.
Okay,
You
fine.
went to Star Wars. Star Wars is a cop out. You're
I
fine. It's fine. It's
it's
fine. I copped out
fine.
too. I
It's
copped out
fine.
as well. It is fine.
That's yeah, yeah. Okay, your go, go,
I copped out as well.
go.
Roger Moore, the
Oh
man with
shit!
the golden gun.
Here, the man with the golden gun.
I
Okay.
I copped out as well. It's fine.
Where did that fall? Was that S tier?
S tier, absolutely. Every James Bond movie in my entire mind will always be S tier. I
I don't
love James Bond so
disagree.
much.
I don't disagree.
It's so good.
I love James Bond so much. You're not wrong. And I really slight, very slight aside because we're already on topic, but still slight aside. I would love to see Idris Elba be James Bond. He fits.
I would too.
He
I
fits
would too.
perfectly. And I like
So many
Idris
people
Elba.
throw a
I've
fit
watched
about it.
him on and off for years. I even watched the
Yeah.
Dark Tower movie, which
Luke,
was a flop.
yeah.
Let's just
It
be
was a bad
honest. The
movie.
Dark Tower
It
movie
was a
was
bad
a
movie.
flop, but Idris Elba
Compared to
did
the
a
book, it was
great
so bad.
job. Okay. And I like
It
Idris
did.
Elba. And
Look,
I can
Idris
110% see him being like Bond. He fits. Yeah, he's older
absolutely.
now. He may be a little old because he's
We got
probably
Luther, bro.
pushing 50, right? Yeah, Luther was a great series.
Yeah.
That was a
We, we've
great
we've
series.
we've got Luther. He's got his own little thing on Netflix that I've done forgotten. Good luck. No, not Good Luck Chuck. Like it was some kind of thing to where he played a DJ. I can't remember the name of
And
it.
he was in Cyberpunk.
He's
He was in Cyberpunk
he was in that.
2077.
He was in Cyberpunk. He was in every single Thor movie and a few Avenger movies. He's in the MCU.
Yeah.
He's the keeper of the Bifrost.
Yeah, but nobody cares about the MCU. That's dying. Get over it.
And people know though.
I know. I
People
know.
know who he is through that. The Idris Elba is in so much stuff, and nobody gives him the credit he deserves. I know a lot of people
Yeah, that's fair.
disagreed with him being Bond. I don't. I'm not one of them. I fully think Idris Elba should be James Bond. One, he's already British, so that's easy. Two, every character I've ever seen him play in almost every movie or show has just proved to me further that he would make a great
And
James Bond.
and we just went off on a tangent because we were just talking about Star Wars and then we got into Idris Elba. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's your go.
He is like my second favorite. He's my second favorite. It's not my go. I just put the man with the golden gun up.
Oh, you did do the man with the golden gun. I apologize.
Yeah. Roger Moore,
Um,
man with the golden gun. James Bond.
hmm.
Cop out for me. My bad.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking at my lineup here that is left.
You also went against the rules.
Yeah, what? How did I go against the rules?
The movie that you picked for Star Wars, there wasn't that
Yeah,
big of a gap, and it wasn't the
it,
first on the
it
list. You
wasn't
went
the
against the
first.
rules.
You're right. Do you want me to move? Okay, look, just to make you feel
No, it's
better,
fine.
I'll throw it into honorable
Definitely no.
mention just to make you feel
Mm-mm.
better about the
Put it
rules.
back in
Because
S.
no,
Put it
you're
back in
it.
S.
Okay,
It doesn't belong in
let it
honorable. Put it back in S.
let it be noted that Empire Strikes Back is S tier, in my opinion. Okay, but I will put it in honorable mention because of an agreement that we had. There you go. RoboCop B. RoboCop was awesome for its time. It does not necessarily hold up today in my mind. It was a very good movie. It's a good story. It's not a great story, but it is
It's
a
mid.
long running right. It is a long running franchise, which should kind of speak for itself. and I do appreciate it.
I own Rogue City.
And RoboCop was good then, and the original is still good now. That's
I
my
own RoboCop
opinion.
Rogue City, the game. It's it's mid. Everything RoboCop related is mid.
You're talking about a game versus a movie. The movie itself was solid when it came out.
No, I'm comparing all of them. Everything RoboCop related is mid. RoboCop is a worse version of Terminator in my mind.
Um, I don't necessarily disagree, but then again, I do at the same time because we're talking about kind of two different things. RoboCop is more like cybernetics, to where Terminator is more, yeah, it's cybernetics, but it's also AI in a way.
Tell me a full-on difference between the two, because they're literally both just a cyborg that does police work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
that's what I
correct.
thought.
That's
Okay,
not correct. Terminator, there's no police work necessarily. No, you're wrong. You are wrong.
I'll be back. Anyways,
I'll be
they're
back.
both
Says Arnold.
they're
Anyways,
they're both not that great in my opinion.
they're
I
they're
don't like either
they're
one of them.
they're good, but you didn't like live through the era when they came out, and they were kind of groundbreaking when they came out. To be fair,
I I didn't live through the era where Godzilla came out either, but I still prefer Godzilla over
neither
both
did
of those
I, but
movies.
I remember being like 11 ish and watching the original Godzilla at my birthday.
Yeah, the original Godzilla, honestly, looking back, was horrible.
Black and white. Yeah, I remember that.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
I've seen every Godzilla movie ever created, and they're all, except for like the last three, not that great.
I don't know what's wrong with you. Godzilla is awesome. It's a
If you say so.
giant lizard. What's wrong with you? It's like
In
it's like Pacific Rim, but older.
that is such a bad comparison. Pacific Rim was great.
Yeah, but
Godzilla is okay.
no, I agree. Pacific Rim was awesome, but Pacific Rim was kind of spawned because of like Godzilla. Realistically, kaiju and all that.
I
Valid.
mean, Goku
Argue.
exists
Argue
because
more.
of Wukong, so you know.
Wukong, what are you talking about? How does that even relate?
You made a comparison, and then I made a comparison, and Goku exists because of the Monkey King, whose
Okay, wait,
name
wait, wait, wait,
is
wait.
Sun Wukong, and Goku's name is Son Goku, and he is derived from the Monkey King.
Let it
Hence
be
why he had a tail, and hence why Dragon Ball Z is probably one of the worst animes ever created.
let it be known I am not a Dragon Ball Z fan and I do not care about Dragon Ball Z. I'm
Nor am
sorry.
I.
I have always viewed Dragon Ball Z as a cartoon. Apologies to everyone that loves it. I just don't care. I never could get into it. I always viewed it as a cartoon. It doesn't resonate in the same way that like Cowboy Bebop does. Okay? Or
Okay, you just
Neon
made a very
Genesis
harsh comparison
Evangelion
there, and I
does.
feel like I need to
Yes,
interrupt
that's
you.
why I'm being harsh. They are not on the same tier.
I
Nowhere
think
near.
I need to argue on that one.
I
Even
have
though I'm not a big Dragon Ball Z fan at all.
I have always viewed Dragon Ball as a cartoon. It is not an anime in my mind because it doesn't have the emotional depth and the storytelling that other anime does. This could be a me failure. That is fair.
We'll save it for later.
We'll save it for when we get to the anime list, which we will do.
We'll save it for later. This is a whole conversation on its own.
DBZ
It's a very
never
long one.
DBZ never screamed anime to me. It has always said US Americanized cartoon. Period. I
I'm
throw
not a
it in the
DBZ
same
fan, but
category
you
as like
do know that the
Transformers.
majority. You do know the majority of everything DBZ related was released in Japan first, and it is widely successful as an anime, right?
Yes. Doesn't mean
Okay.
that I view it as such. Just because it
I
seems
mean, I
so, granted, this will
I
piss
get
people
it. I
off,
don't
but
like
I view it
DBZ
as
at all.
immature. I view it as
I think it's a
immature and
kid show.
childish, more as a
It
cartoon, to where most
I
anime that I actually watch and consider to be realistic anime deal with heavier subjects.
But comparing DBZ to Bebop is extreme. Those
Ye-
two are not comparable. DBZ is nowhere near the level that
I'll even
Bebop is.
compare it to Transformers. I would equate it to Transformers, which is a
I would give
spinoff
it
of
more props than
Robotech.
that. I would give it more props than that.
I wouldn't. Transformers in the US was actually kind of deep in the 80s.
I've
I didn't
watched
even
the
know
old
about
80s
Robotech when
cartoon
I was
of
growing up.
Transformers. Also, notice the word I just said. I watched the old 80s cartoon
Yeah,
of Transformers.
which I quit watching when they basically killed Optimus in a cave when I was about 8, 9.
Because one of my favorite Transformers that I used to have a toy foldable car of
Uh,
was Hot Rod.
oh, you're such a disappointment. Nobody knows who Hot Rod is.
Everybody knows who Hot Rod is.
No, they don't. People your age know who Bumblebee is. They don't know who Hot Rod is.
Oh my gosh, Bumblebee is so fuck.
So
We'll
what?
save this.
So what? What's your
We'll, s-
language there,
we'll,
son?
we'll save this for a later thing. I'll cut this entire portion out. It doesn't belong in this video.
Okay, your pick. Moving on.
All right, I'm gonna match your honorable mention with my own honorable mention
Okay, what you got?
because the main guy within this movie doesn't act anymore and is almost shunned completely from acting. The Rundown. Travis Scott, not the rapper,
Ah,
is completely
ah,
shunned
from
effectively.
American Pie. Yeah, his career got shot for
Yeah,
some
he made a
reason.
lot of poor decisions. No, I know the reasons. He made a lot of poor decisions. But
I'm an
but
American Pie fan, so I mean, whatever.
he's not an actor anymore, and for those of you that don't know who he is, Stifler. Stifler's mama's got it going
Stifler's
on.
mom.
But
Wait,
but the
hold up.
Rundown was one of
No, the
what?
rundown was good. That was The Rock and him, yes.
Yeah, I was about to say the Rundown was one of like the first like rock individual movie type things.
And that was
It
a good
also had the dude from Click in it.
movie. I wouldn't necessarily throw it in like my top 20.
That's why it's an honorable for me.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just saying, yeah, it was a good movie, but it wasn't like there's nothing that stands out about it realistically. You know what I mean?
Again, why it's an honorable for me.
That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Keep in mind,
It's
when I watched this movie, though,
fine.
all of the people within this movie that were big had a very established career when I watched this movie for the very first time.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you're
The
younger,
Rock was already
and
established
that movie
when
came
I
out.
watched this movie.
Yeah, that movie came out around what? Oh 06, somewhere along in
I
there.
think it was '05,
Oh
but
05. Yeah, okay.
somewhere between '05 and '07.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that. That sounds about right. I don't
The
know.
main like the main like villain was in the movie Click with Adam Sandler. He played Maury, I think was his name in that movie. And Travis Scott,
Who will forever be known for American Pie?
yeah, Stifler
Stifler,
was
which probably ruined his
obviously
career.
established. What ruined his career was decisions that he made as an actor, not decisions that he made within what movies
Yeah,
he
but
was
if you
in.
look at it, American Pie, most of those people didn't really go on to have anything else other than American Pie, except for Flute Girl, and her name just left me, which is why I said Flute Girl.
Eh.
And
This
she's
one
been in a
time
lot
at
of
band
things.
camp?
She's been in this one time band camp. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And she's been
Yeah, I
in
know what you're
what?
talking
How I
about.
Met Your Mother, and she's been in several
Yes,
other
she has been in
things.
How I Met Your Mother.
But that
It's the
was
chick
like
that
her
plays
most
Ellie in How I Met Your Mother.
yeah, that was like her most successful thing other than American Pie. Best I can remember. I
Yeah.
could be wrong. That's perfectly fair.
But Travis Scott, or Stifler, whatever you wanna call him as, he made a lot of poor decisions in terms of drugs and funny style charges and stuff like that. That's why he doesn't act anymore. That's why he doesn't have a career anymore. But his brother, however, does have a career, and he is in the Lethal Weapon TV show
Eh,
with one of the Wayans brothers.
eh,
Yeah.
eh.
I know a lot about Stifler.
I mean, I like the Wayans brothers. I do. But
I do
yeah,
too,
eh.
to an extent.
I just have a bit
I
of an
mean,
issue there.
yeah,
It's a me issue, obviously.
Stifler just has some funny style charges. That's why he doesn't act
For
anymore.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
If you
me
watch JD Delay, you know what that means.
I saw he was possibly going back to jail. That's what I saw today. I don't know what the deal is there. I didn't watch, but either way.
Delay? No. Not at all.
No, literally. That was his thumbnail. It's like I'm going back to jail. I'm like, what? But I didn't watch, so I don't know. Okay.
JD Delay?
Yes, I know exactly what I just said. Why are you arguing? Look it up. It's
I'm
on
not
YouTube.
arguing. I'm confused. It's not I've never
I
seen
don't
anything on there.
know. I like I said, I didn't watch. I just saw the thumbnail and the title, whatever. So it's me. I'm gonna grab Terminator because Terminator was great at its time, and I really want to throw it in A, but I also kind of don't because some of it was cheesy. Even at the time, some of it was cheesy, but it was still good, and I actually will throw that above Gremlins. I mean, Arnold, I'll be back. Anyway, Terminator, the original, was good. Yeah. I mean, even if we ignore the whole reboot stuff, like Sarah Connor Chronicles with Summer Glau, obviously, I love Summer. Summer's awesome. Firefly, obviously, I have a problem there. Summer's great. But the original Terminator, yes, I liked it. When it came out, yeah, it was good. Very good. Considering everything else though that's on this list, it is a B. It's above Gremlins, definitely above RoboCop, and um, it spawned a I don't even know what to say. Like I can't think of the words that I want to use, but it trickled down for sure because there were several Terminator movies, and then there was a series, and we're still talking about it today. So it's not like it didn't have any influence at all. It's a very important film if you stop and think about it, with like Starnet and everything, which kind of makes you think of Starlink, right? Yeah. So there's that. I mean, Arnold back in the day was a beast. He really was. Him and Stallone kind of dominated the 80s, along with Bruce Willis and a couple others.
Yeah, that's why the first Expendables movie did really well.
Right. So I mean, that's why I'm putting Terminator in B. It could go to an A, but I really feel just looking at everything and my memory of them, B is still fair. I would say a B. I can't put it above ET. I really can't. Just from quality, cinematic value. But ET and Terminator, then have Ghostbusters in A. Yeah, that feels fine. I don't really have an issue there. So there you go. And that was a really good movie, and that's a very good like universe. And we both know I love Summer Glau for the newer stuff from Firefly. I can't help it. She got my attention in Firefly, and I've liked her ever since.
I can match your B with a B of my own.
Okay, shoot.
The White Dragon. It was one of the
Really?
first.
How is that a
It was
B?
one. It was one of the first movies of that
Dude,
style
dude,
that I ever watched.
how is that a B?
Compared to the other movies on this list and the other movies that I still have to go, I honestly don't think it's better than anything I've already placed. Or I
I,
honestly don't even think it's better than anything that I have left to go outside of honorable mention. It's better than the rundown, obviously, but
yeah,
it's not better than anything else that I have placed or have left to go.
I was gonna say, how is that not an honorable mention?
I wanted it to be one, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, it actually is worth a slot on its own. I do think it's worth a B.
You sure?
Yes, because I have another honorable mention in my list left to go.
Okay, if you're sure, fine. Um, okay. So I guess that means it's my go.
Your
Hero with Jet Li. Solid movie. That was a great movie,
great
actually.
movie.
And
That was a great
I
movie.
will actually
I would be okay with you putting
I
that
will
as
actually
like the
put that.
number one A.
Yeah, that's the number
Yeah,
one.
that,
A
that was such a
Hero
good
was
movie.
really good. It was. That was a very good movie. Like the first time you watch it, it's probably a little like what. And then you watch it again, you're like, oh, okay. Hero is really good. It was. Hero was really good, and I enjoyed it a lot. I actually thought about watching it the other day because it's been a couple years since I've watched it. And you know me, I do like to kind of watch things every couple years, just to kind of keep them in mind.
Yeah, I have one on my list that I'm actually going to put an honorable mention that you probably will want to watch here pretty soon because I
Also,
know it's been a couple of years.
I'm going to open something on the main screen so you be ready to edit this part. Okay. All right. So I know what that is now because I can't always see what the fuck I'm looking at here. So just hold on. We're on a slight pause until I can figure out what the titles are because I can't see them.
You've got Inception, IP Man,
I
Gladiator.
don't think that's IP Man.
It's IP Man.
I don't think it
I'm
is.
almost 100 on it.
I don't think it is. I think it's a Jet Li movie. I think it's Fearless, which is what I'm trying to find. Where the fuck is that image?
I know the other is Saving Private Ryan because I actually wish that was on my list. That's a really good movie. So I'm gonna hit the honorable mention category up real quick.
You're gonna hit honorable mention. All right, what you got?
The Forbidden Kingdom.
Forbidden Kingdom. Okay.
Jet Li, Jackie Chan. in honestly a really good martial arts movie, but it doesn't hit my actual list for no particular reason as much as it doesn't do it.
Forbidden
I
Kingdom
really like
was,
the movie, it just doesn't hit it.
yeah, it was good. That was good. Hiccup.
You're
Yer. I don't have much to say on the Forbidden Kingdom. I'm sorry.
me either.
Oh, okay. Guess that means it's me then, huh?
Yeah.
Um, Starship Troopers. S.
That is a really good movie.
I can't really give you specifics as to why that is S tier, but it is one of those things that just it really hit a note. Okay, so for instance, if it was released now with the things that cinematics could do, it would be ridiculous. Okay, actors, actresses, they're all good. The story on the original is really good. And I've watched that movie several times in the last 2+ decades. Feels right, about 2 decades ish. And I really do enjoy it. And I still enjoy it. There's a lot there realistically to unpack if you stop and think about it, which is why I rate it so highly.
Yeah, I've only seen it once, so I don't have much on it other than that.
It's a good movie. I can't. Eh, it's really annoying that I can't really find words to say why, but it is definitely up there. I mean, I realistically, I guess I could throw it into A plus, but also feel that it is S tier content wise, maybe not cinematics wise. Even though the cinematics were good, they were really good for the time. And it's still one of my favorites now. That's why I threw it into S. So I'll just leave it there. You have no comments, and I can't really say anything else about it. So just move on.
E tier for me. Casino Royale.
Oh, you're going back to Bond.
Daniel Craig's.
You're going back to
Daniel
Bond.
Craig's very first James
Yeah,
Bond movie.
his first Bond movie. And that was a very good
The
movie.
only reason, the only reason, this is actually a disagreement point for us. I mean, I do think it was a good movie, but it is kind of a disagreement point for us. The only reason it's B tier for me is because while the movie was good, I do honestly think it was one of, it's not the, but it is one of the worst James Bond movies.
Worst?
Yeah,
Uh,
I consider it one of the worst.
I can't.
I don't think it's the worst because there was that dude that only played James Bond like one time in that
Yeah,
one movie,
yeah. Back in
and
the
that one was
'60s.
horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't like that one at all.
it was all right.
But
Also, if
for
I'm
an
not
introductory
mistaken,
to a new Bond, I don't like this one.
wait, wait. But I think that dude was Australian, like in the '60s. And if I'm not mistaken, Daniel Craig was Australian or is Australian, right? And I
I
actually like
I
Daniel
don't.
Craig as Bond.
I
Actually,
do
I liked him better than
to an
Brosnan,
extent.
which is probably
I
heresy,
don't
but
disagree with that.
whatever. But I
I
do
don't
like
disagree with
Daniel
that.
Craig as Bond. It worked.
My top three Bonds are Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Daniel Craig.
Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Daniel
In that
Craig.
order.
Um,
In that order.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Sean Connery's always been my favorite. Roger Moore's been my second. And Craig has been my third. Brosnan wasn't bad. It's just I don't know. There was something I didn't really
Uh,
like as much. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it. Just one of
Yeah, I
those
mean, the only
things.
reason a Connery movie isn't on my list is specifically because I couldn't remember the name of any of his movies, and it would have been very hard for me to like go through the list and see the name of his movies without you seeing me do such because I would have looked at the collection.
Yeah, and we've watched all of them from the
Yes,
original all the way up until the last one.
since we own all the Bond movies, and
Yeah,
I was not gonna look it up on my phone, I wanted to look at the collection itself so I could get the full name and stuff.
yeah, we've watched
It would have been hard for me to look at it without you figuring out what I was doing for
the
my
man.
list.
Yeah, we've watched all of them, and like
Yeah.
Goldfinger is one of my favorites. The Man with the Golden Gun, one of my favorites.
Golden
Moonraker,
Finger almost made it on my list. Golden Eye also made it on my
Golden Eye,
list.
yes, but that was Brosnan, if I'm not mistaken. And
Golden Eye was Roger Moore as well.
was Golden Eye Roger Moore or was that Brosnan?
I'm I'm pretty sure it was more because it was on my list until I changed it.
But Golden Eye, like the game was made in the '90s when Brosnan would have had
I
something.
played that game. I
Yeah,
played that
that
game.
was the
It was an old game.
N64 game. So now it is your go with it. And I am curious to see where it goes because yeah,
It was never a question.
yeah, that's the
It
original
was it was
it.
the original it. It was never a question.
And
It's going in S.
the original
I
it
mean, it
freaked me
accidentally.
out. It freaked me out when I was a kid. I'm not gonna lie. It had me
It,
scared of clowns a little bit. I'm not scared of clowns, but that one freaked me out a bit. Not gonna lie.
it moved the man with a golden gun, but it was never a question. It is S tier. It is to this day the original version, and I have seen the new ones. It's still my favorite version of it ever created, and it's also still my favorite horror movie ever made to this day.
Even though you said like the cinematics, the special effects were cheesy.
It's so
You're like
corny.
that's cheesy and corny. I'm like, yeah, shut up, bro.
It's so corny. It's so corny, but it's still so good.
Because we watched
Do
that
you have
what
Prince
like
Albert in a clan? Well, maybe you should let him out.
that's yeah, and that
It's corny as hell, but I love it. I love the movie. It's
but
so good.
but that saying's been around since like probably the '60s or '70s. That's
I'm not that old.
maybe even longer.
I mean, in heart, maybe, but realistically, I'm not that old.
Well, fair point.
So, yeah, there are jokes and stuff made within the movie that just realistically aren't funny for me, but it's still a really good movie. And
And
I've seen the newer ones, and the newer ones are actually more accurate to the book.
I haven't read the books. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm a lore drop on you after this
yeah.
episode, then,
And
because
I
there are
haven't
certain.
read. So you see what I have left, right?
Yeah, I'm not 100. Oh, Never mind. I just realized what movie that is.
Yeah, where do you think that's
Yeah.
gonna go?
S.
Just take a guess. Yeah,
It's going in S.
Braveheart, all time favorite. It is
It
what
is
it is,
hands down my least favorite movie.
and it is my hands down all time favorite.
I do not like that movie at all.
That is a that is a you failure. Braveheart is my number one,
Yeah, it's very low on my list.
and Saving Private Ryan is my number two. That's just how it is. Because there's so much in that movie, in Braveheart. It's historical, it's kind of gut wrenching. It's, I don't even know the words to say at some points, but he, in the movie, at least, he fought for everything he believed in, along with the loss that he had suffered. And that resonates on many levels. That is why that is and has been for the last 30 plus years, well, about 30 years, my all time favorite movie. People love and hate Mel Gibson. It's fair. Whatever they want to think there, I don't care. But that movie in itself is my all time favorite movie that I have ever seen. Titanic was great, yes. Saving Private Ryan, great, absolutely. Silence of the Lambs, great, yes. Schindler's List, great. Inception, great. Titanic, I already mentioned, great movie. Gladiator, great movie. There's something about Braveheart that just, on a very human level, that resonates to me at least from a family to historical type level, to where I can't find anything that would top it. There's just so much there. And yeah, I could have thrown like the passion in here. I really could have. And I'm also sad that I didn't think about it until now. Also a very solid movie. But Braveheart somehow like transforms the human element of the whole thing. Because if you look at them from a different perspective, in a way, Braveheart versus The Passion, okay, there's a lot of similarities. They're not the same, obviously, and they're not as like major realistically. Because uh, I don't know how to word it. Something about Braveheart that just strikes a chord in me, myself personally. And some most of these others actually don't. And if I would have been thinking, the passion would be in here and it would obviously be number one. But for whatever reason, I didn't think about it, mainly because I was trying to limit myself to like pre 2000,
Yeah.
roughly speaking. And The Passion is not a movie I can watch like repeatedly. I just can't. It's a painful movie. Redemptive, yes, but painful, yes. So that's why it is not on the list, mainly because I just didn't think about it. I was trying to do this kind of on like a short notice situation. And I mean, if you personally stop and think about all the movies you've watched, could you literally come up with a roughly top 20 in a day or so? Because no, the more you think about it, the more you realize things. Because I made this list several days ago. And it's just hard to remember everything that we've seen, everything we've heard, everything we've thought about. And granted, The Passion was kind of after my general time period of movies. Yeah, I got Inception on there. Yeah, I've got what what's another newer one? Uh there's one that's relatively new and I can't remember which one it was right now. But either way, you get my point. So that's my list. I think I was at 23. Yeah, it's right there. So it's 23. And Tyler was at 20. And
You're
and that shows kind of the difference in our taste, our likes, dislikes. And yeah, granted, for what it is, this is a long episode. But there was a little bit of talking involved. There's a little bit of diatribe, but it's all warranted. So listen if you like. If we bore you, I'm sorry. This is how we are. We may be a little bit monotone. Don't get really excitable yet. Whenever we finish with this intro season, which is what we're doing, we'll go into deeper subjects to where we may argue points, or we may not. We may just agree. And that is up to you all to listen or not, like it or not. But we're not going to change who we are to try to get people to listen and watch what we're doing. I hope you like it. I hope you find it interesting. I hope it sparks a conversation. If it doesn't, that's fine. If it does, that's also fine. Because realistically, from my perspective, this is my almost 25-year-old son I'm having a conversation with, and we have sat here and done this for the last several hours, just talking and taking breaks in between. How many of you can say the same thing that you can do this? So there's that. Because, in my opinion, as we said in the disc golf video, I've won already. I don't care. I don't. I've already won, regardless of the score, regardless of the views, regardless of the subs, regardless of any of it. it's irrelevant, because the important thing is what we have, and I have one. Period. It is what it is, though, right? Yep. Thanks for putting up with us for the last, what, hour and a half, 2 hours probably. Come back. We're going to do an anime breakdown, and we'll probably do a TV show breakdown, and then we'll go into effectively like the next season, where we hit on topics that we either agree or disagree on in a more in-depth manner. So until the next one, thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you all. Have a good day.
And we will see you next time.